Welcome back. We're now on lesson 13 of our series on how to be happy in marriage 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And today we're going to be discussing parents and your relationship to your parents after you get married. So, this is a very important subject. And if you want to learn what unhappiness is, you just break God's commandment on this subject and you'll find out what unhappiness is. So when you get married, you're supposed to leave your parents and set up a separate household. Let's read Ephesians chapter 5, starting with verse 31, continuing what we read in our last lesson. For this cause shall a man leave his father and mother, and shall be joined unto his wife, and they two shall be one flesh. This is a great mystery, but I speak concerning Christ and the church. Now, verse 31 there, it's very clear. Whenever you get married, you're supposed to leave your father and your mother, and you're supposed to be joined to your wife and become one flesh. Now, this seems to be a real big problem in some cultures because the parents in some cultures have been exalted into a position as though they are God. And listen, parents, you're not God. You are not God. And you do not have more authority than God does. And you should not be telling your children to do things that God says not to do, or tell them not to do things that God says to do. When your children get married, I'm talking now to the parents that have children that just get married. When your children get married, you no longer have authority over them. And are they supposed to respect you? Of course, they still respect you. But when they get married, they have to set up a separate household. And okay, now to the young married couples listening to this, when you get married, that's supposed to be a step into being mature. That's from at that point, young man, you're to become a man. You're to become the head of your house. You're to set up a separate household, and your dad is no longer the head of that household. You are. And you have to take the authority, the responsibility, and the authority in that new household. And young ladies, when you get married, your mom and dad are no longer in authority over you, and you're not supposed to obey them. You're supposed to obey your husband. He's your authority now. And so you show your loyalty to him. You're to love him more than you love your parents. And just like he's to love you more than he loves his parents. And this is a very important thing. I'll tell you a true story. I was once in a village where they didn't practice the Bible culture. Their culture was that when a young man got married, he stayed with his parents, and he brought his wife into the household of his parents, and his wife became the slave to his mother. And let me tell you, that is just absolutely a satanic idea, a satanic culture that requires that. Whenever a young man gets married, he's supposed to be separate. He's supposed to separate himself from his parents, set up a separate household, and bring his wife into that household. And she's not to be anybody's slave. She's to be a queen in that house. And he's to treat her with the utmost respect and just love her 100% with all his heart. And he's supposed to love her more than he loves his mom. Now, you still love your mom, but you've got to love your wife more than you love your mom. You get married, you're becoming a man now, and you have to act like a man. You cannot allow your parents to mistreat your wife. That is just absolutely wrong if you do that. You've got to protect your wife, nourish your wife, and honor her, and just make her life pleasant. Now, wow, I'm probably going to make some parents mad on this one, but I'm going to tell you, I've seen such horrible things happen. That culture I was telling you about, there was a young man got married, brought his wife into his parents' home. His mother treated his wife so wickedly, made her so unhappy that eventually she could not take it, and she drank insecticide and killed herself. She committed suicide. What a sad, tragic thing. Just because people did not believe that God knows more than they do. Let me tell you something. God knows more than your culture. You're not supposed to have a heathen culture. We're supposed to obey God, and our culture is supposed to be Christian culture based on what God says. So, well, I hope I haven't offended you, but if I have, you need to get right with God. I just told you what the Bible says. So until the next lesson, God bless you.